Now let's move into some shapes that aren't so round, things like squares and rectangles and triangles.
No, wait, hold on. How to draw me, how to draw me, how to draw me. What about ovals?
Larry, we just finished doing ovals. Where are you?
I was becoming more ovalish.
You already are an oval.
Oh, great. Now you tell me.
Anyway, like I was saying, let's move on to shapes that aren't so round, things like squares, rectangles, and triangles. Now, two favorite characters around here are Junior Asparagus and Laura Carrot. Now, Junior and Laura are best friends. Even when they don't get along, they always end up forgiving each other. You'll see, too, how they can really change their emotion, not just from their eyes and mouth, like their expression, but also their posture. That means how they're standing. All right? So let's draw Junior and Laura. Okay, let's start with Junior. Over here on this side of the paper, not in the middle. We're going to draw him right here, kind of big. And like I said, we're working with squares, triangles, things like that. So very lightly, let's draw kind of a square that's slanted, a rectangle-ish. It's slanted. I kind of have to find my place on the page here. There we go. That's a good size for Junior's body. And make him slanted a little bit, because that's some of the emotion we're talking about. Now on top, he's got a little kind of a circle with a point. See that? Okay, and right, he's got two eyes, of course. We're going to put one off to the side, just like this, and one right next to it, because he's turned his head just a little bit. Okay, right in the middle, let's put his nose. He's got a little button nose. Now, Junior's mouth is usually off to the side, so it's like a little U-shaped little smile. We're going to have his mouth open, so make it really big, like a little U and a big U right there. See that? And you can color his mouth in and make it open, but I'm gonna draw his teeth. He's smiling real big like that. Okay, I'm going to get a little more detail here. Let's draw the pupils of his eyes. He's going to be looking over in this direction. Almost, I'm standing here, he's kind of looking toward me. But actually he's going to be looking off to the side of him. So let's draw this oval shape here off to the side, in the same place in this eye. See? Let's draw real skinny ovals too. Of course, like I always do, leave the highlight. Gives him that little spark. There. Now darken around his eyes. Put a little bit of eyelid in there, but I have his eyes open really wide because he's really excited. And notice how it's slanted back. That helps him give him the emotion we were talking about, like he's leaning back. Made him a little fat here. I'm going to bring that in just a little. Maybe even just a little bit taller. There, that feels more like Junior. But I'm going to use that line for the bottom of his shirt, see? Get a little bit of curve because he's rounded. And the top of his shirt comes right in here. Don't let it meet in the middle here. Put a little V, just like that. And then off to the side, put kind of these long triangles pointed down. And that's the collar to his shirt. And then his foot down here. It's not really a foot, it's just the end of his body, but we call it his foot. There. And there's Junior. But of course he needs a little texture on the end of his asparagus spear. So just kind of draw some half circles in there. Let them overlap a little bit. Make them nice and big, following that big pointed circle shape we made, just like that. There, that's Junior. Now, of course, we made him very happy and looking somewhere. It's a little tricky. We're going to have him looking at Laura over here. She's going to be a little further away, so she's going to be a little bit smaller, not so big. We're going to draw her about this big over here. So not all the way on the edge of the paper, not in the middle, somewhere in the just kind of off to the side here. she's basically a triangle shape. Not a perfect triangle like this, but kind of a skinny triangle. Don't make her too small. She's not that far away. Yeah. Just kind of like this. And of course she narrows more at the top. There. She's about a little less than half the size of Junior, looks like there. Okay, got that triangle shape. It's kind of bends as it gets near the top. Laura's basically a triangle here, not a fat triangle like you're used, but very skinny and narrow. It almost gets, it almost runs almost the same up. It doesn't slant in perfectly. Perfect triangle goes up and then slants toward the end. Now don't draw these lines too dark up here because we're going to put her hair up there later. Right here, we're going to draw her eyes. Big, round, egg-shaped eyes. Not too near the top. And a little off to the side because she's turned too. You see that? And she also has a little bitty nose. Now make her eyes near the bottom because she's going to be looking down here at Junior. It kind of looks like she's floating in space, but she's not. We'll get to that, don't worry. There. And Laura's got a nice big smile. Her mouth is usually right in the center. How Junior's, remember Junior's is off to the side? Laura's is usually right in the middle. Give her a big toothy grin there too. And 3 little dots on each cheek for her freckles. And she usually wears a little dress. So let's put this curved line here to show how it wraps around. And then comes down the side and a little bit wider than her body. Flares out. And then you can put a collar, which is like these little loops, just like that. If you want to draw some little flowers on it like that. 3 little flowers. That gives her a nice little dress. Now Laura has bangs in front. So she's got this straight line where her bangs go right over her eyes. And this upside down U goes on top where, and she's got usually has a little hairband right there. So do the U of her hair and then one right over it. And see how it looks like a little hairband tucked in there? And her hair is combed back in the back and she's got pigtails. Now they're not braided, so they're a little easier to draw than braids. They're like little ovals, like a little one right there, another one off that, and then the end, which is like a little triangle with a raggedy end there. You can put little ribbons in it too. See how I'm doing that? Just these little curved lines in there. And the other pigtail comes off this side. Now it overlaps, so we draw it behind her bangs and her eye. See how that? You don't draw the whole thing. It wraps around behind. Another section right there, a little bit smaller. And then that triangle shape near the bottom. You can make it a raggedy end there. Or here it comes off. There, see? So it's basically a triangle shape and a square with a circle on top of it. Now I said, she looks kind of floating, so we don't want that. So we're going to draw the horizon behind her. So it makes them look like they're kind of standing down the street from each other. See? Just like that. And they're happy to see each other. They're standing up straight. They're giving a little slant to it. It makes them look kind of excited because they're seeing their friend here. In fact, if you wanted to put the sidewalk they're standing on, let's draw this line straight to here. Don't let it run right into Junior. That might look bad. Continue it on that side. And this on this side is almost goes straight down. See, it's how it gets wider near us because it's closer. There, and there we have Junior and Laura standing on the sidewalk.